Good morning, class 12th. After finishing with the transcription, there are few modification, there are few changes which happens after transcription. As you know that the process of transcription in prokaryotes and eukaryote is same, but there are few changes which are observed in the eukaryotes after the transcription. So today we will talk about the post transcriptional modification. Post means after transcription. So, a few points we know that in prokaryotes there is the RNA which formed is known, we call it as a mRNA, because prokaryotes, they do not have any, first thing, they do not have any well defined nucleus. So everything, the either we talk about transcription and translation, they both processes, they happens in cytoplasm. Sometime even they are occurring, they are happening simultaneously, one after the another, right? And sometimes translation happens just before the transcription also, means the side by side. So mRNA does not require any kind of further processing. The RNA which formed is the mRNA only. It does not go any changes, basically not any further changes they are observed. The transcription in eukaryotes or the higher organisms, the whole process, that is your initiation, then we say elongation and termination. These three steps, they are completely same. If we specifically we have to mention there in prokaryotes, you know that there is one RNA polymerase which is responsible for formation of rRNA, mRNA and tRNA. But here in eukaryotes there are three RNA polymerases which are present in nucleus in case of eukaryotes. That I told you in my previous lecture, that how to remember them, that how you will remember now in your exam, that RNA polymerase 2, it is responsible for formation of mRNA. Now see there, that is the number 2. It means it is responsible for the formation of mRNA as well as hnRNA. hnRNA is known as heterogeneous nuclear RNA, and mRNA, you know that it is known as messenger RNA. And the others are, there is RNA polymerase 1, which is responsible for the formation of rRNA. What is rRNA? Ribosomal RNA. And then is the tRNA, it is the transfer RNA. Then there is a, in few books they have mentioned that it also responsible for the formation of 5s rRNA. 5s is the that is the ribosomal subunit, basically its subunit is 5s. So rRNA, then is the snRNA, also formed by RNA polymerase 3, that is called the small nuclear RNAs. So tRNA, 5s rRNA specifically, as well as snRNA. So if you have clearly that 2 means, you have to write down two types of RNA, two types of RNA here. RNA 1, then you will write rRNA, and ultimately left out is the tRNA. The primary transcript of RNA, it means the first formed RNA after transcription. RNA which is formed after transcription is known as hnRNA, that is the heterogeneous nuclear RNA. It is the first formed RNA. That is why, because first formed, when we enter in a school, we first take admission in the primary classes, right? So first formed RNA, that is why we are naming it as a primary transcript of RNA, because it is a product of transcription. So primary transcripts of RNA, it has both, it has 2 points, basically it has 2 parts. This hnRNA, suppose this is our hnRNA which is formed after transcription, that is 5 to 3 Now it has 2 parts. There are 2 portions which are observed in this hnRNA. Few they are known as exons, and others are known as this green, they are known as introns. So this hnRNA, it is made up of 2 things, exons and introns. Now exons and introns, this hnRNA now it undergoes splicing. Splicing means what is happening actually, that these introns they are removed and exons are joined. Why? Because exons they are expressed sequences, they are expressible, they are able to express, so they are expressed, they are having expressed sequences, and introns they do not express for anything, right? So we need an RNA which should be able to express, because ultimately we have to change the RNA into प्रोटीन. तो हमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ वो पोर्शन चाहिए जिससे फाइनली प्रोटीन बने. सो व्हाट वी डू, वी split this RNA intron, we remove the introns, we remove the not expressible part and join the expressible one. So exons which can able to express, those sequences which can able to express, and introns are the one which are not able to express. So out of this whole RNA now, out of this whole hnRNA, we remove the intron part. The green portion which I am drawing right now, it is removed and we are left with the exons. This is the first modification in the hnRNA. So mRNA is always which is completely expressible, which is able to express, or you can say it is having only expressed sequences which are your exons, right? The next one is the second modification here is done in the hnRNA is additional processing. Two additional processing things they are done here, that is the capping and tailing. See, capping means one unusual nucleotide, methyl guanosine triphosphate. This is not a normal nucleotide, this is unusual, which we don't use in the normal one. Normal cases, methyl guanosine triphosphate. It is added to the 5' end of hnRNA. Just try to understand there that what is happening. See, this RNA which is formed after transcription, it is forming in the nucleus, right? If this is if this is a cell, this is a nucleus, and here we have this hnRNA. This is forming in the nucleus. Now once it has to move to the cytoplasm, and in cytoplasm there are many degrading enzymes are present, which can ultimately, if we will not protect this RNA will break into pieces, which ultimately no protein will be formed from it. So what do we need? Because this is our primary transcript, so we need to make it mature, we need to make it tough so that it can survive in the cytoplasm. So for that purpose we are doing two modification, that is capping and tailing. As you know that this is our 5' end and 3' end of RNA. At 5' end of hnRNA we add methyl guanosine triphosphate, and on the 3' end a long chain of adenylate is added, which is approximately 200 to 300 in number, a long chain of adenylate. So these both ends they are protected now, and this hnRNA is now called messenger RNA, or it is the matured and processed RNA, right? So just look at this diagram. DNA is double helix, right? So after transcription this RNA is formed here, this RNA is getting formed here. Now first modification is capping. Capping means capping is always done at 5' end of RNA. So as you can see that this is 5' and this one is 3 dash end. Now at the 5 dash end, capping is done. What we add? Unusual nucleotide. This is methyl guanosine triphosphate. So we have put a cap at the 5 dash end, and in the next step this is protected now. And the second thing we do is that we remove the introns. We have removed the introns, and now we have only and only axons are left in the mRNA or in our processing hnRNA. At the 3 dash end we add, see these yellow portion, they are axons, and red part is intron. So we have removed the intron part, so now we are available only with the yellow portion, that is the mRNA. So now on the 3 dash end, a long tail with the adenylate residues is added. This is called polyadenylation, because you are adding many adenine, right, many adenylate. So now the ultimately the RNA which is formed here now after processing, that is with the 5 dash N, that is with the methyl guanosine triphosphate, and this green color is for the long adenylate chain, and this RNA is known as now messenger RNA. This RNA is known as messenger RNA. So hnRNA is changed into matured and processed RNA in case of eukaryotes, with the capping, with the tailing, as well as with the splicing. Every time if these things they are asked to you in examination, then please be careful about them. So fully processed RNA, hnRNA, is changed to mRNA. It will come out from the nucleus for the translation process. What is the translation process? It is the protein synthesis. There is I'm leaving you with few questions based on replication and transcription, which please try to mention them in the comment section, so that I will also be able to know that how much you have understood till this lecture. DNA replication is conservative and discontinuous, semi-conservative and semi-discontinuous, semi-conservative and discontinuous, or it is a conservative. Look, just think about with the DNA replication, with the replication fork, you will get your answer. The process of transfer of genetic information from DNA to RNA, it is the easy one. Formation of RNA or formation of RNA from DNA is known as translocation, translation, transcription, transversion. So mention your correct answer. Then is the during DNA replication, strands are separated by DNA polymerase, topoisomerase. You have to separate the strands. So who will help you out of these? Which enzyme will help you to separate two strands, right? So you have to mention one enzyme. In next question, we are asking that protein, tell us a protein helping in opening of DNA double helix. Again, I am repeating, we are not asking about the enzyme here. I am asking about protein. Protein helping in opening of DNA double helix in front of replication fork. Is it a gyrase? Is it a polymerase? Is it a ligase? It is the topoisomerase. So go for your best answers, and I will meet you in my next video. We are going to start with the another last process, that is the translocation, that is the translation. Till then, take care of your health.